Hi, it's Dorleen. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my creative life. I'm creating a one-page layout for my granddaughter's preschool graduation. So once I pull out my pictures, I'm going to go ahead and look at what I have and say, what do I want to do? Now, this is a preschool, so you know it's nice and colorful. And at first I grabbed all of my graduation things, but everything I had was like silver, black, white, gold. And I thought, well, that's kind of boring for a graduation. Now I have this one piece of paper that's very bright and colorful, but also seems very, very busy. I am following a sketch from Scrapbooking the Day Away or Scrapbooking with Anne Marie. And so if you notice, there are 4 panels of something over on the left. And then there was this triangle just diagonal from the top left to the bottom right. So I wanted to incorporate all that. Now I was digging through my things because I did remember cutting some graduation things at one time. Again, they were black. And again, very basic color for this preschool colorful graduation. But when I was going through my pre-cut files, I pulled out these cards. Now this set over here, I actually made these. It was probably something I challenged myself to do years ago, but basically it was making pocket page elements. So you could see that these things are 4x6, the smaller ones are 3x4 that you would put into pocket pages. Well, I love the color scheme. And even though this was built for a birthday, I thought I'll peel off stuff or I'll cover stuff and you'll never know, which is exactly what I did. So again, following the sketch, there were 4 boxes to the left of what we would use, either solid paper or some kind of embellishment or blocks of something. Well, I decided to do 3 because it works out. Now I'm covering, so that middle one is a 3x4 one that I put on the side. So I'm going to leave a photo there to cover where it ends, where it's a little bit shorter than the 4x6, because I want to give the illusion that it's the same length or width, however you want to word it, as the other 2 panels. And I think by covering that bottom corner, that's what it looks like, or that it gives the illusion of that. But don't forget, I'm supposed to put that diagonal triangle over there from that top left to that bottom right. So at first when I was looking at the sketch, it seemed like a lot to me. I was like, well, that's an element and it kind of gets hidden in there. So is it really necessary? But then I thought, look at this paper. It almost seems like it's ideal for those pocket page elements because of the coloring, and it also gives the graduation feel to it, which it really did need, since I wasn't really going to use any graduation type embellishments, because again, like I mentioned, the embellishments I had, or the ones I already had, were all kind of black, white, very neutral. Yes, of course, I could grab my Cricut or my stamps, do whatever, and create more colorful ones, but I was kind of in the, how can I make this easier but still very cute? But look at how cute this is. So enough of it showing, so you do get that celebration feeling, you know, with the stars and the streamers and the graduation hats. But you also get, it is a graduation just because of the celebrate and the words that they're using. I think there's even a diploma, things like that. So I am going through my little 6x6 pad that I have because I do want to have some sort of title or words or something. And so the one I cut out, it says keep shining, or shine on, what does it say? Shine on and keep reaching for the stars. So that was kind of my jumping off point. Now I'm going to use stars to embellish this instead of any kind of graduation type embellishment, like, you know, the mortar hat or the diploma, things like that, which I'm not really sure why they call it a graduation. It really should be a promotion because they are promoting to the next grade, which in her case was TK. But anyhow, so I do love the way this is looking and I'm really happy about it. So I'm going to go ahead and start adhering some things down so you can see me do that. Now, before I finish, I do want to mention my channel. So I do post 2 videos a week. One is always scrapbooking, and one is whatever it is I'm creating in the command center. The command center is the name of my craft room. It's also the name of my blog. So in the information box, I'll have a link to my blog, which will show this particular post and any information you may need to know. I did, like I mentioned earlier, I did create these pocket page inserts, I guess, is that what we'd call them? But look at how fun and colorful they are. I don't know why I've never used them, because why did I make them? I don't know if I was challenging myself. I'm telling you folks, this has been in that box of mine for a long, long time. And for a while there, and I'm talking years ago, I used to do a lot of swaps. And so I'm kind of wondering too if maybe I was going to do a swap and then change my mind, or maybe I did a swap and kept a set for myself. Who knows? Doesn't even matter. But you see me here playing with some of these cards. So you see that one that I have in my hand right here. That one is embossed with some circles. You can tell by looking at it. And at first I'm thinking, look at, I got these out and I'm using them. Let me try to use as many as possible. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I will use it. Now you'll also notice here that I'm going to be using a flip flap here because I want to keep this one page and I do have extra pictures. So at first I thought, well, I'll put that in the flip flap. I'll use that to put the journaling. But again, it has the embossed images or the circles. And I thought, okay, that makes it difficult to write, and I also don't want to cover it. So I am switching the other one that was on top because that was a solid yellow piece of paper in there. And so I am going to be putting that in the inside of the flip flap and making that into a journal card. So you'll see me in a little bit adding some white cardstock to that, so I can add some journaling. And I can't remember if I journal on camera or if I just do it off, but either way, there's journaling in the flip of the flap. The flap of the flip, whatever you want to call it. So this is basically how I'm going to be doing it. I'm adhering the photos down now, and I'm going to be putting just some embellishments here and there. Now I am creating this during a Zoom call, and the Zoom call is with the other members of the Scrapping the Day Away website. I'm going to leave a link to that as well, because if you're interested in a website that really just focuses on scrapbooking and all things scrapbooking, I mean, there's tips, there's techniques, there's sketches, there's contests, there's just community in general and sharing of what we're doing, what you're not doing. If you have questions, there's swaps, there's this, there's that, there's all the things. It is a really fun place to be, and there's all different levels of scrapbookers. So if you're just a beginner, it's a great place to really reach out, see what other people are doing. And like I mentioned, you can ask questions and people will answer. But if you're intermediate or even whatever other layers of scrapbookers there are, it's a great place just to get encouraged. I go there all the time. I love using sketches in my scrapbooks. One, because it's just kind of one less thing to worry about. Sometimes you just stare at a blank page and you're like, okay, now what? When you have a sketch, you already know the now what. Now it's just a matter of how am I going to complete it. So anyhow, so I was on a Zoom call with this, which was really fun. I don't do this very often. And it was nice to see faces and talk to ladies with same interest, and also just kind of women subjects in general, like, let me think, menopause. Even if you're not that age, it's still kind of nice to hear what other people are experiencing or going through with their kids or whatever, work, etc. Right? It's good to have girl gang. And anyhow, so during the Zoomie, I didn't want to really get up and grab all the things, so I tried to have as much as I could right here, and that's why I'm punching like the stars with some of these cards. Like I mentioned, I haven't used these things in years, so I'm just going to use the cardstock here. First of all, it all coordinates, so why not? And I'm using the pieces, so I don't care that I'm tearing things apart and using portions or not using portions, because bottom line, I'm using the things. When I create the title for this, I'm also doing the same thing. The bad part is I turned the camera off when I did the title, so I'm just going to talk about it really quick, and you'll see it at the end. But I basically just used the solid cardstock from one of these cards or more of these cards and hand wrote my title, cut them out. And it turned out really fun, folks. You're going to see at the end, and I think you'll agree with it. So hopefully you do like this video, and if you do, give me a thumbs up. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Like I mentioned earlier, I do post 2 videos a week, and one of them has got to be something that you're interested in. And I also have lots of playlists, so if you're only interested in, like, let's say scrapbooking, then only look at the scrapbooking videos. Or if you're only interested in, let's say, making cards or card making, there's one for card making, etc., etc. But I think they'll find something you like. If you're like me and probably most of us, especially paper crafters, we scrapbook, but we also make cards, that kind of thing. But anyhow, I hope you do enjoy this video. And if you had any questions, please leave me a comment. Hey, leave me a comment anyways. I like to listen to them or listen. Oh my goodness. I like to read them, and I definitely like to respond to them. And I appreciate any comments. So there's that title. Isn't that so fun? And I did change out the colors of the stars, so that made it a little bit more colorful as well. But thank you so much for watching. Bye.